Okay, cool. So the next team we've got, I'll let them introduce themselves. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to our demo day. We're very excited to show you our project. But before we get into that, let's just do some quick introductions. Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm a criminology and psychology graduate and a qualified teacher. And I know what you're thinking, that's a perfect combination. Unfortunately, teaching wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. So I decided to do something different and pursue my passion in tech. I found out about the School of Code and they came just at the right time. And after 16 weeks of fun collaborative learning, I'm now ready to start my career journey in tech. But that's enough about me. It's time for you to meet Scott.
Hi, I'm Scott. Before the bootcamp, I just finished school and didn't want to go to university for 3 years. After looking at apprenticeship programs for getting into tech, none of the options seemed right for me. I developed an interest at sixth form in creating drag and drop websites, but I knew I needed to learn code. The School of Code bootcamp has not only enabled me to do this, but has taught me invaluable schemes such as teamwork. I'm very grateful for what the bootcamp has done for me, and I'm now looking to start a career in tech. I will now hand you over to my teammate Lily.
Hello everyone, I'm Lily Wales. A week before the bootcamp, I was completing my Fine Art MA, and I applied for the course for 2 main reasons. The first was to integrate robotics and lighting into my sculpture, Radioactive Rhonda. The second was to become a more sustainable artist. And throughout the process, I've really enjoyed using code as an art form. So last but not least, I'll hand you over to Victoria.
Hi, I'm Victoria. Prior to the bootcamp, I ran my own award-winning bakery and coffee shop. I loved it. I had a passion for real bread and specialty coffee, but I didn't want to get up at 3 a.m. for the rest of my life. So I looked at the options that were open to me, and the School of Code bootcamp was the perfect opportunity at exactly the right time. I've learned so much over the last 16 weeks, and I'm so excited about my future in tech.
So our project was to create a new website for the School of Code. Our first step was to meet with our client, the CEO of the School of Code, Dr. Chris Meir. In the meeting, he outlined to us the challenge that faced us. With the work that they do with the bootcamp, obviously, the school's work that they do and the consultancy side of things, we had to essentially create what is 3 separate websites together into one. To show you how we did this, I'll hand you to Victoria.
Because there are 3 distinct sections of the School of Code website, we needed to make sure that the design and the content was suitable for all of the users. To do this, we created 3 user personas. We gave them all a name so they were more authentic, and we could put ourselves in the mind frame of each user. For the schools, we had John, a 35-year-old high school teacher who had no knowledge of code. For the bootcamp, we had Dave, who was 22, worked in retail, and wanted a change in career. And finally, for the consultancy, we used the example of apprentice winner Sarah Lynn, who desperately needed a makeover for her website. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the grand reveal, the School of Code website. When designing the website, it was important to all of us to make it fun, but we didn't want to make it gimmicky. The research that we did showed that the competitors' websites were all fairly dull with a corporate look to them. So we decided that a childish design with a space theme well executed would be perfect. We went for geometric shapes to give a 3D impression, and initially we created all of these images in CSS, but we changed to SVGs to make them more scalable, easily resizable, and more open to animations. On all of the main pages, we implemented parallax scrolling, where the content at the foreground moves faster than the background. And now Matthew is going to talk to you about the school's page.
So our user John needed to teach his class how to code. Fortunately, he'd heard about the School of Code and decided to check out their website. Upon coming to the website, he saw that there were 3 planets, one for schools, one for boot camp, and one for consultancy. John knew exactly where he wanted to go and headed straight for the schools planet. Upon entering the schools page, he came across a brief statement about what the Scholar Code is about and also how they could help him. He was excited to see that they offer one-to-one and whole school training support, so he decided to contact them using the form below. Once he had done this, he proceeded further down the page and saw that there was an exciting looking game. It also conveniently had the Key Stage 3 target, so he could add it to his planning. He was looking forward to trying this out tomorrow with his class. Looking further down the page, he saw that there were additional resources that he spent the evening playing and trying out so he could improve his code himself. Excited for the response he was going to get from the Scholar Code.
Our second user, Dave, is looking at changing career. He saw an advert for the Scholar Code Bootcamp and has decided to look at the website. He's first taken to the home page where he immediately sees the bootcamp planet. He clicks on the planet and is presented with an introduction with more information to what he could learn on the bootcamp. He then scrolls down and sees the previous cohort members and can identify with their non-tech backgrounds. He is impressed with the wide diversity of the bootcamp and is interested in what he too could do in 16 weeks. He is now very interested in the bootcamp, and the timer below tells him how long before the next one begins. His next step is to see the application process to see what he needs to do to apply.
So I don't know if anyone else watches The Apprentice, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. But if you do, you'll know that Sarah Lynn was a recent winner. She had a sweet company that essentially operated like Moonpig. And in the episode where they do the interviews, she was slated heavily for her poor website. It was lacking in design, and the functionality just wasn't there. So Sarah really needs a consultant. She visits our website, and immediately she sees a philosophy she can really relate to. Every company is a technology company, regardless of what business they think they're in. So Sarah's really aware she's dealing with much more than sugar. She scrolls down the page, and she sees what services are on offer. She also can see what training is available to her staff. She likes what she sees. She scrolls down further. She sees an in-depth process of what will happen with the School of Code. She decides they're the consultancy for her.
Because the School of Code has outgrown its current website, we needed to make sure our version would grow as the School of Code grew. With this in mind, we chose to use React for our front end. Facebook designed React for one reason: to handle huge amounts of data that changed continually and to do that fast. We needed our website to be fast, and one of the things that makes React fast is its virtual DOM. When you change something in React, it only renders what it needs to render, speeding up the process. Another benefit we found of React is that it's component-based, and the components we make in React can be used in other websites or in your own website in a different way.
For all the content and technical coding we've done, at some point we need to let go. Unless we want late-night phone calls from our client requesting to make changes, we need to make the website easily customizable for them. Therefore, we have chosen to use WordPress's REST API as our backend. WordPress, as many of you may know, is a content management system which makes building websites from scratch fairly straightforward. However, we wanted to use the power that React has for the reasons outlined by Victoria, while still tapping into the customizability of WordPress. In our WordPress dashboard, we have created 3 custom post types, one for the consultancy page, one for the bootcamp, and one for the schools page. Each of these has all of the content that's on our website. Currently, we are in our consultancy component with the quote that Lily referred to earlier. We have the Scholar Code philosophy, which I'm going to steal and turn it into my philosophy. I'll click Update to update our website. Scoot on over to our website and the consultancy section, and it is now my philosophy. So with the whole of our website, all of our content is customizable for the client, and that is what our intention was, to make it easily changeable for them as the business changes as well. I want to hand you to Scott for some CSS animations.
As previously mentioned, the landing page is the most valued page of our website. We decided it's important to make the page interactive in order to engage the users. In order to do this, we use CSS Animations. When working with CSS Animation, we knew that it would be easy to make the page look too busy. Having all animations running at the same time once the page loaded would be confusing for the user and would take away from the overall effect. Therefore, we opted for the decision that when you hover over each planet with the mouse, they will then animate. This therefore helps to make it interactive for the users because they can then explore each planet at their own will.
So with over half of web traffic coming from mobile devices, it's crucial to make a mobile responsive website. And as already said, the first draft of the website was created purely in CSS, including the complex geometric planets. And while that was a great learning curve, it was complicated. So we decided to make the move to SVGs. So once we did that, we were able to utilize Bootstrap within React, placing each planet in a column, allowing them to stack on top of each other when viewed on mobile.
Planning formed an essential part of our project. We had regular meetings with Chris to ensure that our progress met the visions of the client. Within these meetings, the client was able to highlight any additions to the website and check in with our overall progress. Our team ethos was solely based upon teamwork with the use of an agile work environment. We elected a Scrum Master who ran regular meetings in which he would align the day's plans and highlight any problems we had encountered. We also held daily retrospectives to ensure that we knew what had been done and knew where we could move on for the next day. We would also look at what could have been done better and what we could change to enable us to be more productive. We elected a project manager whose role was to address the decision-making process. The process for making a decision was a majority vote. As you may be thinking, yes, there are 4 of us. This meant that if it came to a tie, it was the project manager's overall decision.
So as you know, we really didn't have long, and no one on our team actually had any coding experience. So we set a lot of time aside for learning, which really helped us out when we switched to SVGs, because that move required us to learn Adobe Illustrator from scratch. As a team, we decided that our MVP would be the landing page. But as you can see from this presentation, we've delivered way more than we planned. So we're happy with our progress. So on behalf of the team, I'd like to say thank you for listening to the presentation, and we look forward to meeting you all.